Anthony Kennedy, how do you describe him as a retired? Let's just say a retired justice.
He's a retired justice. Good morning and welcome to Fox 29's News Now. We're moving from Washington this morning, where retired Supreme Court Justice John Paul Stevens is lying in repose. He died last week in Florida at age 99. We're going to switch back to our regular programming and starting with local news this morning. A teenager is in the hospital after he was shot by police on the Walt Whitman Bridge early this morning. Officials say that teenager was driving a stolen school bus. Fox 29's Steve Keeley filed this report.
This stolen school bus was towed off the eastbound lanes of the Walt Whitman Bridge 8 hours after a teenager crashed it into the concrete barrier along the right lane, not far past the toll plaza on the Philly side. A Philadelphia police tow truck made a U-turn here in Camden, then headed back over to the Philly side, escorted by Delaware River Port Authority police, who shot the teenager. It was officers from the DRPA that initially encountered the teen who had crashed the bus just before 1 a.m., close to the Philly foot of the bridge. He was then seen walking on the bridge toward the New Jersey side and armed with a knife, a high-placed law enforcement source told me, saying DRPA police ordered him several times to drop the knife as they backpedaled, hoping for him to drop it and stop walking toward them. But he refused and got closer to the police, who shot and wounded the teenager, believed to be shot in the shoulder and legs. First rushed to Penn Presbyterian, then transferred later to Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Besides the Philly police tow truck, the Philly Police Crime Scene Unit also showed up to help in this investigation. And we noticed at least 8 evidence markers, possibly indicating a knife and as many as 7 bullet shells. The source tells Fox 29 News that doctors were almost immediately telling police officers that the teen would survive the shooting. The obvious questions now: police were waiting for the medical examiner to answer one of them and tell them whether or not the teen was under the influence of anything, perhaps causing him to crash with no other vehicles apparently involved, and maybe why he didn't listen to reason, as police ordered him several times to drop that knife. After an awful start to the week for the thousands of commuters who use the Walt Whitman Bridge, the bus was eventually taken to an impound for further investigation. And so there will be 2 separate investigations likely in this case, one about the teen's actions, and as is standard in all police shootings, an investigation into the police firing at him. On the Walt Whitman Bridge, Steve Keeley, Fox 29 News.
And more in local news this morning. Police are asking for the public's help locating a man who they say attempted to abduct a 12-year-old girl. Fox 29's Lauren Johnson filed this report.
Well, be on the lookout is the key word, and that's why they released those pictures and that sketch to hope that someone may recognize him or that vehicle that he was in on Saturday night around 8:15 when we hear this 12-year-old tell the story of exactly what happened. She said she was walking on Christine Avenue between Steiner and Wagner Avenue when she noticed that someone was following her. It gets more creepy when the complete stranger gets out of the car, tries to start conversations with her several times, and after several failed attempts, she takes off running in fear. At the same time, she's calling home, her family calling police. Now people in her neighborhood are rattled by this news.
It's scary for the fact that, you know, we have to be even more concerned about our kids, and then with school approaching and the kids going to school, we got to be more leery about them walking to the bus stops now and things like that as well.
If I was in that situation, I would probably end up being really scared and not know what to do.
Yeah, she ran.
Yeah, I probably would run too and try to make as much noise as I could.
Gotta teach your kids those rules very young. Sadly, the man wearing all black, including a black baseball hat, he's a black man in his mid-20s to early 30s. That day, he had a freshly trimmed beard, and the victim does remember he had a very deep voice. The car he was driving is believed to be a 2008 or 2009 Ford Fusion. Authorities want to know if you know him, if you recognize him, if you've seen that car, maybe had any kind of encounter similar to this 12-year-old, they're asking you to call them.
And more in local news overnight. In Lehigh County, a child is in the hospital after being struck by lightning. It happened in Bethlehem on Argus Court around 9:15 p.m. last night. The child was rushed to St. Luke's University Hospital. The condition of the victim is unknown at this time. Also developing in North Philadelphia, a 58-year-old man is dead after being shot. It happened around 11 p.m. last night on the 2200 block of North 26th Street. The man was taken to Temple University Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. No motive or arrests in this case at this time. And in Bucks County, police in Warminster say this man was caught sexually assaulting a woman. It happened early Saturday morning outside of Harrigan's Pub on West County Line Road in a busy parking lot. Officers say 30-year-old Gregory Green was found inside a parked car with the victim. Witnesses called police after they heard her screaming for help and then raced over to the car to pull her out. And in Plymouth Rock section of Philadelphia, firefighters spent almost 3 hours trying to knock out a fire at the Department of Lights. It's located on North 15th Street. Thankfully, there was no report. And in Camden County, nursing home residents are back in their rooms this morning after an air condition malfunction forced them to be evacuated. The AC failed just before 3 p.m. yesterday afternoon at the Pines at Voorhees Rehabilitation and Healthcare Center. More than 180 patients were evacuated. Some were taken to a high school, while some with more serious medical needs were taken to other nearby facilities.
You're sitting in a room where it's 95 degrees. We're young guys. I mean, I'm soaked in sweat. Imagine a woman that's sick. I mean, listen, it's a heat wave. It happens. But, you know, especially when you have elderly people, you got to make sure your facility's running properly.
Authorities say one person was taken to the hospital for observation. And volunteers from the We Love You Foundation hosted a blood drive yesterday in East Oak Lane alongside the Mueller Keystone Blood Center. They're hoping to raise awareness about the necessity of donating blood and letting people know how they can help. The blood drive was part of a larger initiative by the United Nations to help give blood to those in need. And moving on to politics this morning, days before back-to-back hearings Wednesday, both sides of the political aisle seem to agree that Special Counsel Robert Mueller's testimony could be pivotal in shifting public opinion on the question of, quote, holding the president accountable. Fox's Doug Luzader has the story this morning from Washington.
Should be a blockbuster week in our nation's capital. We have former special counsel Robert Mueller expected to testify about the results of his Russia probe.
It's something many Democrats hope will move the ball forward on efforts to impeach President Trump. Doug Luzader in Washington with what we can expect. Good morning to you, Doug.
Thomas and Alex, good morning. Robert Mueller's getting ready for his big week. This is one of the most anticipated hearings around here we have seen in a long time.
He waved, but President Trump did not answer questions as he returned to the White House from a weekend in New Jersey. And while this could be quite a week, he suggested on Friday that he wasn't all that interested in what Robert Mueller had to say.
No, I won't be watching Mueller.
But he may be just about the only one around here not watching this week, as the former special counsel, Robert Mueller, is called before Congress to describe what exactly he found in his lengthy investigation into Russian election interference.
It should be interesting.
The Democrat running one of those hearings wants to counter the president's claims that the report cleared him of colluding with Russia and obstructing justice.
Well, we want the American people to hear directly from Special Counsel Mueller what his investigation found. The president and the attorney general and others have spent the last few months systematically lying to the American people about what the investigation found.
This is about television. It's about educating the American public through television. They don't expect anything new to come out. It's about stoking impeachment.
And many Republicans see an opportunity here as well.
But let me tell you, the Republicans have not forgot about where this investigation started, and there's going to be a lot of questions for what he did say, what he didn't say, and how this thing started. And people are going to find out, hopefully, some answers this week on that.
They certainly will, and that's something we'll be showing you right here on Fox 29 on Wednesday.
Wednesday, 8:30. Representative Nadler said it perfectly. Should be interesting. Both sides gearing up. 7:10.
And moving on to your Fox 29 Weather Authority. The Philadelphia area is slated for a stormy Monday as the region begins to recover from this weekend's oppressive heat. A flash flood watch is in effect for the region from 8 a.m. today through Tuesday morning. Showers and thunderstorms are forecast to bring periods of heavy rain, so be sure to bring an umbrella wherever you head out today. Scattered thunderstorms during the morning hours are expected to become more widespread this afternoon. A few storms may be severe. And as far as temperatures go this morning, Monday will reach a high of around 92 degrees. Pretty favorable compared to the more than 100 degrees the region experienced yesterday. And going into Tuesday, we'll see a pretty noticeable dip in temperatures with a high of 76 degrees. Here we have a look at current temperatures in our area. A mild 74 degrees up in the Poconos this morning. 83 degrees over in Lancaster, and around the same here in Philadelphia. And it's already up to nearly 90 degrees down the shore in Toms River, Atlantic City, and 87 degrees in Wildwood, New Jersey. And it would appear our 7-day forecast is out of date, but again, this week, today, this Monday, a slight cool down compared to the oppressive temperatures this weekend, and by Tuesday that dip will become more pronounced with a high of 76 degrees. And so far for the beginning of the week, we're not seeing much precipitation beyond the Monday rain, which will carry over overnight. Other than that, we're looking at sunny and warm temperatures in the 80s. And don't forget to download the latest version of the Fox 29 Weather Authority app to have the latest forecast right at your fingertips. And moving on to Good Day Philadelphia this morning, a grandmother has turned heartbreak into healing after losing her son to gun violence. Now she's written a book to help explain her son's death to his son, knowing one day he'll ask, "Where's my daddy?"
Okay, thank you, Kathy. 8:16. Well, when Kimberly Camara's only son, Naeem, was shot while waiting for fireworks on July 4th of 2017, he had just started to turn his life around. After years of getting caught up in the wrong crowd, well, he had a new job and a new place to live, but it was the birth of his son, Kyrie, which brought purpose to his life.
The thought of her grandson not knowing his father is what led Kimberly to turn her grief to paper. Where's My Daddy is a book for any child who lost a parent, while also giving adults a way to talk to kids about love and loss.
So Kimberly knows that her grandson will one day ask more questions, but for now, though, you just want him to know that his dad is in his heart.
Yes.
Yes. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. First of all, sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
The heartbreak. But what you're doing with this book, take us through the process from losing a child to putting your thoughts on paper.
Well, a lot of people go into a deep depression. I was always taught to fight. I didn't know what my fight was going to be at the time, but I knew I had to do something. So I realized that Naeem had a son. And one day he would ask me, "Where's my daddy?" So I started jotting things down, and it became a book. And the first draft was too much for children, so I took a lot of parts out and just made it more interactive and using the community.
You put all your thoughts, all your feelings
I got
into the
on
book.
that kid's level.
Your grandson was 3 months old.
Yes.
When you lost your son.
Yes.
What was, I mean, because you hear about it far too often on the news. Parents who are losing their children to gun violence. What was that moment like when you received the call? Now, you lost, it was gun violence, correct?
Yes. It was horrific. It's the worst pain. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. I've lost my father, and I thought my heart was going then. But it was a heart-wrenching I just knew I was going to die.
And especially considering the fact that Naeem, like we were mentioning, he realized that he had a son, and he was trying to do things differently.
Absolutely.
And just when he was starting to do that, then something like this.
Absolutely.
Did you feel like, why now?
I questioned God all the time. It was horrible. And then through me questioning God, I realized I had to start praising God, because that's what we're taught as Christians, to have faith and believe. And
you have to be there for your grandson.
Absolutely, and my other kids.
And you put that belief in the book, Where's My Daddy? And it really is through the illustrations. You take this little young boy here through a process of asking his teddy bear, to asking a bee, to asking a bird, where's my daddy? And it ultimately takes you through the journey of
Absolutely.
Ask your mommy, and then the other parent, will explain what happened.
Yes. And a lot of times we don't go to mom or dad first. We go outside of home. So that's how the community got involved with helping Kyrie find out where his father is.
So what are you hoping then, because unfortunately we were talking about in the city, there's been a lot of gun violence. But this is not just for those children who've lost their parents to gun violence. It might be for other reasons.
It's exactly.
What do you hope that they'll get from this and take away from it?
I initially wrote the book to have that conversation. And out of that conversation, it'll bring dialogue with the families. It'll open up. Adults, it's helping adults get through the traumatic death of losing their father, which I was just like, oh my goodness, I did that. And people are calling me, thanking me, and it's like so many positive reviews, and I'm just
where can
excited.
people get it?
Right now, it's on Amazon.
Okay. Just search Where's My Daddy? And
Yes, Where's My Dad? Where's My Daddy? I've also put it on Facebook.
Real quick, and I know we're tight on time here, but for anyone who's watching this, because we talk about the gun violence, but as a mother to those who are still out there, who's causing chaos and havoc and continuing the gun violence.
Stop it. Just stop. It's not worth it. You're ripping up so many families, and before this knocked on my front door, I had no idea. The worst part of it is I had to tell my mom. And I just love my mom so much, and to see the heartbreak in her, I can never get over it.
You're making such a difference.
You are.
I hope I am.
Affecting
You are.
others.
We're going to take a quick break.
Yes, thank you.
sweetheart.
Thank you for sharing your story.
And more on Good Day this morning. We're all familiar with chicken wings, but have you heard of duck wings? Fox 29's Mike Jarek ventured to Rittenhouse Square, where he says, you gotta try this.
What his vacation is looking like. But first, let's talk about the new Rouge. So it's in Rittenhouse Square, and I'm sure you've heard of chicken wings, right? But what about duck wings?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, Mike says at Rittenhouse Square, where Rouge is, you gotta try this.
Okay.
I did not have trouble finding this place because I'm constantly here, just off of Rittenhouse Square, the iconic restaurant Rouge, and the iconic owner, Rob Wasserman. Good to see you, Rob.
Thank you very much.
How long has Rouge been open?
If you can imagine, 1998, so we've been going into 21 years.
21 years. You changed the decor, and people freaked.
I know. Some positive, some negative.
Yeah.
But overall, listen, after 20 years, you realize, it's time for a refresh. Obviously, because we get additional seats, and it gives a little bit better of a flow. We have more people now coming in and being able to sit at the bar.
I like it. I particularly like this new look.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, and it seems more French, actually, to me.
It's true.
We don't like change. It really. Another thing is, well, you took certain things off the menu. In fact, to change the menu.
It hurt.
What did you have to put back on out of public pressure?
Honestly, Mike, we probably basically took everything off the menu except our burger.
You've added some great stuff.
We've had some wonderful additions to the menu.
What is that?
If you can imagine, this is called a hamachi. It's a hamachi crudo, which is a yellowtail, like a tuna tuna,
Yeah.
a part of the tuna as a sushi, and we have it as a nice light cucumber with some nice little olive oil.
That's really good.
Delicious.
Colorful salad.
Wonderful salad. This is a gem and endive salad, and we've added again as a seasonal addition to the menu, and it's one of our favorite additions.
Gorgeous. What's this?
This is one of my favorites. This is our new crab dish, which is basically horseradish with crab. It keeps it really nice and chunky, as you can see, and homemade potato chips.
Okay, and then a couple cocktails here. Believe it or not, that is the wing of a duck. No,
Say that again.
The wing of a duck.
How crazy is that?
Are they working out or something?
Listen, this is so unique because honestly, in the United States, there's one farm out of upstate New York called Hudson Valley.
Yeah.
And they breed these ducks to allow for this type of meal. I mean, because normally, as you're aware, ducks are not as, muscle.
You still get famous people.
What's that
smell? We were just
I'm
walking
Meredith.
down the street.
Hello, Quincy.
Smell all this stuff.
Is that right?
This is amazing, Rob. Wow.
You didn't invite us?
Wow.
But they can always sniff out a free meal.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so grab some chairs. Rob,
Absolutely.
you know Quincy
Oh,
and
I
Meredith.
think I've
of
met
course.
them before.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my God.
Well,
he hasn't even tasted anything yet.
congratulations.
Thank you so much for coming in.
It's even better than ever before.
Yes.
You got to try this.
I don't blame them.
And speaking of food, this morning, a strawberry pretzel salad listed on one of Delaware's eateries menus has some folks scratching their heads. Well, the assistant kitchen manager of Metro Pub and Grill joined Good Day this morning to show us what it's all about.
Okay, 9:31. Well, BuzzFeed posted an article asking people to name the best dessert in every state. And when it came to Delaware, we were a little surprised.
Scratching our heads here.
Delaware, I understand why this is.
You do?
Well, I understand why strawberries.
Okay.
And pretzel, but I've never heard of that thing called a strawberry pretzel salad. It doesn't look like a salad at all. Apparently that's what it looks like.
I've never heard of it. I've never seen it. I think that's the most unusual thing. We have to do it. You got to try this one.
Yes.
Now that I'm looking at it close.
We realized it wasn't unusual because so many people, Shane, hello, Shane Walensky.
Good morning. Hello.
They tweeted us like, no, my mother makes it or I have it all the time. And we were like, we've been missing out. So you've got to fill us in.
Of course. Pretzel salad has always been a tradition between anybody in my family.
Yeah.
Whenever I go to a barbecue or, cookout or whatever.
Is it sad that I actually thought it was like spinach with pretzel bites and strawberry
Yeah, no
dressing?
greens in it. No greens.
No greens. Okay. So you're with Metro Pub and Grill in
Yes,
Middletown.
ma'am.
So where are you guys located in Middletown?
We were like a minute outside of the center of town.
Okay, a minute outside. Very nice. So what do we start with?
All right, so this is our interpretation of the pretzel salad that we use that's on the current menu at Metro.
Okay.
So first we're going to take the gelatin and put in a little bit of cold water. This will kickstart the process for later on.
What is gelatin? Is it just kind of like a...
Basically a thickening agent.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yep. All right, so then we're going to start with the pretzel crust. Just a little bit of crushed pretzels.
Literally, just crushed pretzels. Okay.
Yep. A little bit of sugar, just added that little sweetness.
Mm-hmm. Gotta have sweetness.
And then some butter.
That's a lot of butter. That's not some butter. I'm not mad about it, though.
So we're just going to mix this up until it's just about like a sandy texture, like almost like at the beach.
Yeah. You're not going to put that between your toes.
No.
Not at all. All right. So it's
So
like a sweet and salty
Yes.
concoction.
Yes.
Smells good.
It does smell good.
All right, so after this is all mixed up, we're going to go put it in one of the ramekins just like this. The layer is just about a 1/4 inch thick.
Okay.
All right, so then we're going to move on to step 2, which is going to be creating the strawberry jello. So this is going to consist of just a little bit of water and then strawberry jello.
All righty. Here, I'll do the stirring for this one.
Of course.
Just go ahead and
Yep.
get the stirring.
Yep.
Okay. I haven't made Jello in I can't remember how long.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
So this is still just relaxing over here, the gelatin?
Okay.
Yes, that'll be used at the final step.
Okay.
Okay.
So once all this water or the gelatin is dissolved, this will go in the fridge and begin to soft set.
For how long do you leave it in the fridge?
Just about an hour and a half.
Okay.
So you said you grew up with this?
Yes, every celebration, my family has always made it. My mom particularly, actually.
Did she tell you where this came from? Like, was this passed down, or how did you?
That's her recipe.
Oh, wow.
She keeps the little secrets to herself.
The question is, does she approve of this recipe? Like,
she needs to come in and try it.
oh, okay.
All right, so
I hope she's watching.
We have the crust here. We have the Jell-O, and then the next step.
All right. So while this is soft set, we're going to pour it into the ramekin. That's why it's just like this.
Okay.
Just at an acute angle, just so it has a eye-popping design.
Oh, very nice.
All right, so then this is where we kind of put our own twist on the panna cotta, or the pretzel salad. We introduced a panna cotta element to it. So this is what this white cream is on top.
Panna cotta. What is panna cotta?
It's traditionally like an Italian custard paired with fruit.
Very nice.
So you have fresh cream.
Yes, so this is going to be fresh cream, and then it's going to be half and half as well.
Okay.
That increases like the mouthfeel. A little bit of sugar, just for the added sweetness, and then also a little bit of vanilla.
All right. Mix
So
that up.
this will get all mixed up until the sugar is dissolved. And then if you grab that gelatin, you can pour it right in there.
Right in?
Yep.
Okay.
And then this will do almost the same exact process as the gelatin.
So you put that in the fridge as well?
Yes, and then it'll be soft set, and then you can pour it right on top.
So you pour the cream right on top of the Jell-O.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, let's get to trying it. Enough talking
All
about
right.
it.
Here, I'll plate one out for you.
Okay. Oh, even more cream on top?
Yes.
Cream on top of cream.
A little bit of whipped cream.
Okay.
A little bit of fresh fruit for you guys.
I take it
Make
this
it
one's
nice
mine.
and fresh.
Of course.
Get a little.
You don't want the extra cream? Here's your spoon, Thomas.
Thank you.
I'll take this one. All right, let's do it.
Of course.
Thank you. Okay. I'm trying to get the pretzel in there. I'm trying
pretzel's
to
on the
dig
bottom,
in.
right?
Yeah, it's at the bottom.
Here we go.
I think my spoon's stuck.
It's good. Very good. It's interesting because the pretzels, they get soft, so it's kind of like a crust, or it's like a...
Yeah.
All right.
That is very good.
Okay, Delaware, we see why this is the favorite. It's a little messy. I'm sorry, I'm getting it everywhere.
Hey.
So glad
That's
this
the
wasn't
process.
spinach.
Right.
Strawberry.
Thank you so much, Shane. We appreciate it. So Metro Pub and Grill, Middletown.
Yes, ma'am.
Very nice. Okay, let's go out and get some peaches now.
Strawberries.
And that is going to do it for us today at Fox 29's News Now. Be sure to catch us again tomorrow, same time, same place, 10 a.m. And follow us at fox29.com as well as our mobile app and across social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And thank you for joining us.